Guys, what's up? What's up? How are we all doing? It's good to see you all here. Just let me know who's here. Just drop me anything. You can just say whatever you want in the chat. What I usually do at the beginning is just tell me where you're coming from. Um, what else could we do? We always do something different. Some of you might have been coming to my streams over the summer. We always do a different activity. Now that we started school, what could we say? We could say put pluses in the chat if you're excited to be back at school. We could put uh, minuses in the chat if you're not happy that you're back at school and you'd rather be chilling on a beach in Greece. Or put a, look, we got a plus. Sham's got the minus, nice. But um, what else could we say? We could say put stars in the chat if you're looking to get an A star in your A-level maths. So, hey Chris, so if you're looking to get an A star in your A-level maths, put stars in the chat. Pluses in the chat if you're happy to be back at school. Minuses in the chat if you'd rather be chilling on a beach in Greece right now. Hey, maybe some of you are chilling in Greece right now, but you're watching this on YouTube, innit? Hey guys, thank you for joining me. If you could hit the like button and subscribe, guys, it will help me out so much. Obviously, I'm doing this for free. So any likes, guys, it will help me out an incredible amount. Please could you subscribe as well because I do release other videos, so you want all the notifications. Sean, big fan. I've replied. Hopefully this was acceptable for you. I can see everyone here is putting the stars in the chat. You need to go through GCSE content again. MH, I'm assuming you're year 12 maybe. In my year 12 course, I actually cover a lot of the GCSE stuff. You'll be all right. I'll look after you. Any newcomers, what we're saying is put stars in the chat if you want to get an A star in your A-level maths. Plus in the chat if you're excited to be back at school. Minuses in the chat if you'd rather be on a beach in Greece right now. One of them three. Um, there we go. Loving the stars. So I'm going to help you. Hey, Larissa. I'm going to help you give you some tips on how I got my A star in my A-level maths. I'm just giving everyone a chance to join and, introduce themselves. But good engagement, you lot. Like, loving this that you lot have come back from school. Everyone started school by now. I've spoken to quite a few of you. A lot of you have had exams already. So that's kind of deep. I feel sorry for you. You come back, a lot of you have been on holiday in terms of abroad, and then you come back and you get whacked on with an exam. So, my heart goes out to you. That's probably all the people putting minuses in the chat. You had an exam straight away. But yeah, I'm in this lecture today for live stream. Lecture sounds really formal, right? It's a live stream. I'm going to be going through 7 things which I feel will be the best tips for you to get the A star in your A-level maths. I can see tons of you have put the stars in the chat, so that's what we want to. That's what we want. We all want the best grade possible. It doesn't matter what you want to go on to do in life. Whether that's university. A lot of people want to go on to do apprenticeships. Different things. Everyone still wants to get the best grade possible. So I'm going to share those tips with you. Then also I'm going to talk a little bit more about other things. So before I start, guys, there's over 50 of you here. If you could hit the like button, some of you have still not hit the like button, it would help me out a lot. And make sure you subscribe so that you have access to all of my videos and notifications for when I'm doing different streams. So, I think we can make a start. Just before I tell you about my 7 tips, just a little introduction about me. We had a baseline test. Sham, year 12. Baseline test is standard. So I don't feel sorry for any year 12s who have a baseline test, but hopefully you did well in it. But baseline tests, when I was teaching in a school, I always did a baseline test with my year 12s. It just gives me a feel for where you're at. After GCSE, a lot of us just relax, right? So you lose a lot of information. The baseline test allows us to just see where you're at, maybe we need to reteach you some stuff, you know, warm up your brains a bit again. So yeah, baseline test is super important. And yeah, it seems like a lot of you actually had the baseline test for year 12s. Okay, so who am I? You know, we've been messaging, all of us have been messaging over the last week or so, particularly. I'm a fully qualified teacher. I've had over 7 years of experience. But one thing that's the most important thing is I'm the coolest maths geek you'll ever meet. Yeah, so I am a maths geek. I've even got it tattooed on my wrist. Can you see that? You see, I've got a little maths tattoo on my wrist. So I'm the coolest maths geek you ever meet, and it's my goal to make you guys well, try and make you guys cool maths geeks as well. So I've been a fully qualified teacher for over 7 years. My journey of becoming a maths geek started in A levels. So when I was your age, in fact, I did my A level maths a year early, and I still got 2 A stars and 2 As, the 2 A stars being in maths and further maths. So I sat my normal maths A level when I was 16 years old, and I still got the A stars. So everything I did when I was 16 years old, I'm going to share with you today. Then I went on to do maths at UCL. I got first in that. And then this is new for you. All my current students know this very well, is what do all true maths geeks who do, you know, geeky subjects, mathematical subjects at uni, what do they all go on to do after their degree? The answer is they go on to teach, because they're so passionate about their subject, they all go on to teach maths or physics or one of those. But yeah, I went on to become a qualified teacher, and then I was the head of A-level maths in multiple schools across Northwest London. Shout out to my London crew. I know there's loads of you who are in London, but also crazy spread out across the country. It's wicked to have all of us in the same place. Also, when I was at A-levels, I sat something called the Advanced Extension Award. It's not really done that much anymore, but you know, it's mostly STEP. Maybe some of you have done STEP, heard of STEP. STEP's like the entrance exam to Cambridge and Cambridge and Imperial. UCL do it sometimes, but the Advanced Extension Award was another exam that was done that was similar. I did it when I was 17, and I got the distinction, which puts me in the top 1 to 2% of mathematicians in the country. And a really important thing is I am an Edexcel examiner. So I do mark papers. I primarily focus on the further maths because there's not a lot of demand. I mean, there's not a lot of supply. There's a lot of demand to mark further maths papers, but there's not many teachers in the country who can mark further maths papers. So I do mark for Edexcel currently. Now, outside of being a maths geek, what do? I have very simple needs in life. You can see at the bottom there, I love my chicken. I do my meal preps every day. I eat the same thing every day. And the reason I do this is, you know, I don't want to waste time on, you know, what am I eating today? I wake up, I know exactly what I'm eating. So then I can get on with what I need to do, such as building this platform, doing these live streams, stuff like that. And, you know, it prepares me well for, as you can see there, I love going to the gym. Right there, I'm squatting 160 kilos. And if you lot want to know more or learn more about the gym, I actually post gym stuff on my Instagram. So you should all go and follow me on Instagram. The link to that is in the description. You just click my link tree, go follow me on Instagram. I love posting stuff about gym and, you know, my life. And there you can see next to that is my kitten, Chi Chi. I only got her, well, we found her just over a month ago. And, you know, she's been with me ever since. She's proper naughty. I post loads of videos of her. So if you love animals, hey guys, you should be hitting me up on Instagram and watch all the videos. They're really funny. And you also watch her grow up. She's only like 7, 8 weeks old, so she's still tiny. And now, what am I doing? Now I'm working at MES, and what we're trying to do here is we're trying to modernize education. We're trying to teach you guys in the form of live streams, which are super fun, super interactive. You can see from the chat, everyone's engaging. It's really fun to have conversations with people across the country. And we're kind of moving away from the way traditional education is taught. You know, you guys are sitting in a classroom of 20 to 30 people and you're just looking at a whiteboard. Whereas here, we're trying to make it more interactive. We're trying to use an online tech platform where you can do your homeworks and watch videos and rewatch my streams, which are super powerful. And I'll describe more of that later on. So that's what I'm kind of doing now. So we're gonna have a baseline, Amira, we're gonna have a baseline test soon for maths. Well, I mean, to be fair, it sounds like you're doing it quite late. Usually it's like the first day back a baseline test is sat. But yeah, as I said before, I've been teaching in a school since 2015, and kids that I've taught have done incredible. Over 2/3 of my students usually get an A to A star, but they put in the work, and obviously I motivate them to put in the work. And now what we're doing here at MES is to try and deliver that to a larger scale. And I believe personally, what we're doing here is way more effective than just the classroom setting. But like I said, we'll do that. We'll discuss that later on. Okay, so what you guys have come here for is how I believe you can get the tips I believe you should follow to get the A star in your A-level maths. Now, these are the things that I followed when I was your age. Like I said, I did my A-level maths a year early. I was 16 and I got the A star. So these are the things that I did and that I reiterate as well when I'm teaching, when I'm delivering my course. And all my students who do follow this do well. And the first one is the one that's always said, when it comes to maths and really anything, is practice makes perfect. I would say maths is the easiest subject to keep practicing because there's hundreds, if not, hundreds of thousands of questions of each topic which you could be using to practice. When I deliver my course, the practice that you're doing is primarily focused on exam questions. So really you want to work towards exam questions as quick as possible. And when I was doing my A-level maths, it was all about exposure. So when I opened up my exam paper, every single question that I saw, I had seen before. So it's all about experience. So it's really important that you expose yourself to as many questions as possible. And obviously I deliver that in my course. I do tons of questions in my live streams. And of course, in my homeworks, they build up quite quickly to the hardest A-level questions. And then we do lots of practice as well on top of that. So really important. Obviously, practice makes perfect. The next one, which I think is quite an underrated tip, is relax. Don't stress about information overload. Every lesson, usually, particularly in my lessons, is a lot of content gets done. Yeah, I do a lot of questions. I do a lot of exam questions. I do a lot of hard questions. It's quite easy to get, slightly overwhelmed by the information. But relax. The whole point is that the brain is trying to process all the information that's going in. And after a sleep or 2 sleeps, you never know. Some people process information a little bit longer than others, but that's fine. Your brain needs time to process things. And a great thing that we do here is that all of my live streams are recorded. So, I'll show you my platform later on. I'll give you a quick tour. When I'm delivering these live streams, if you miss something, that's okay. Just chill. It's not a big deal. You can watch it back later, which is also a good thing about YouTube, which of course, I told you lot you should be subscribing to my channel so that you can watch videos whenever I upload something, you can watch. And make sure you hit the like button as well, guys, if you haven't already. So really important, guys, relax. Don't stress about information overload. I'm going to give you more tips on what you should do after that will give you, a reason to relax, and you shouldn't be stressing. And it's spaced practice. The reason you should be relaxing is because you're going to keep practicing. When you learn a topic, say for example, my year 13s right now, we're learning trigonometry, and there's a lot of content being covered in one lesson. I just tell them, look guys, relax, don't worry, because the lecture's being recorded. You can watch it back again the next day. And also, we're going to revise this topic again over the course of the year. So say you're learning, I don't know, if you're in year 12, you're probably learning, the first few chapters. Maybe you're on straight lines. Maybe you're just doing some basic algebra stuff, revising GCSEs. But you're going to be revising them all over the year. In fact, a lot of the stuff you're learning at the beginning, you're going to interleave into other topics as well. So if you don't understand something now, it's fine, because it's going to come up again in the future and you're going to practice it again, not specifically as a separate topic, but as part of something else. As we all know, maths is just, it's all connected, yeah? So every skill that you learn will come up in something else. So with my year 13s, we're learning trig. Trig is going to come up when we do all sorts of calculus and various algebraic topics, and we're going to keep reiterating the ideas that we learned specifically in trigonometry. So space practice, you want to wait, and then you're going to revise something again. And it's something that I take into account in my teaching, and I always do space practice in the form of revision. The next one, particularly when you guys do homeworks, is do not give up on a question straight away. Of course, when you're in school, your teacher may set you a question and it's a little bit different, but really I'm focusing on homeworks here. When I give homeworks, my questions are really challenging. Do not give up on the question straight away. It's really important that if you get stuck, your brain is still trying to process something. So think of the electric waves, that current's going through your brain, right? It's not processing something straight away. But if you go for a walk, just chill out, go get, I don't know, cup of tea or something. I don't know what you guys do to chill out. Go subscribe to my YouTube or go follow my Instagram or something like that. I don't know. Just walk away, don't check the answers, and then come back. How many times, this is a good question actually, how many times have you guys done a question in an exam and then you've come out of that exam and you knew exactly what to do? That is super, super powerful. This is what we want to practice whilst we are not in the exam. So when you do get to the exam, it's very unlikely that that's going to happen. So exactly, and yeah, all of you, put some yeps in the chat if that's happened to you, where you've been in an exam and you've come out of the exam and you'd be like, oh, I'm trying to think of an adjective here, but like, damn, I actually could have answered that question. It's just your brain processed it too late, yeah? So you want to make sure when you're in a relaxed setting, yeah, when you're in a relaxed setting, you do not give up on the question straight away. Do not go to the answers straight away. Go for a walk, allow your brain to process what it's seen, and what you want is that click moment, that enlightened moment where you're like, I know what I'm doing now, because then you're forming those connections in your brain which weren't there before. And that is what you want to take into the exams, yeah? This is such an underrated point, yeah? One that you guys just need to focus on, yeah? Do not give up on questions straight away. The next one, this is a nice one. This is like a nice economics point, if any of you are doing economics. So Pareto's law, 80% of consequences come from 20% of causes. And now this can be applied to anything. So, you've all heard that, that phrase of 80% of money is owned by the top, or by 20% of people. People say 80% of your happiness comes from 20% of the small things you do, like gratitude and stuff like that. So only 20% of the things you do will create 80% of results, yeah? Now, how do we apply that to maths? How many of you, before an exam, have just revised? How many of you have done all-nighters? Yeah, in the chat, let me know how many of you guys have done all-nighters. It's so common. I've seen it so many times with my students. They've done all-nighters with no breaks, yeah? This is not an effective way of learning because your brain cannot process that much information in one go, yeah? So if you do or have done one-nighters, all-nighters, it's time to change, yeah? Because it doesn't work. So many times you're gonna forget most of the stuff, yeah? It's very common at uni, people doing all-nighters, and they forget everything. So how do we apply Pareto's law to what we're doing? What I recommend is that you take half an hour segments. In half an hour, if you take 20% and you round it, just say 5 minutes. You're going to revise for 25 minutes and take a 5-minute break every single time. Or if you want, you could work for 50 minutes max and take a 10-minute break. Do not do any more than that. And so you would do 25 minutes, 5-minute break. You could do whatever you want in those 5 minutes. Go get a drink, go for a walk, I would go play with my kitten or something like that. Then after those 5 minutes, you come back and do another 25 minutes and a 5-minute break, and that works out to an hour. Then you just keep repeating that cycle. So if you're gonna, work for 2 hours, then you're going to have 4 segments of working and 4 segments of relaxing. And you guys can apply this to your different subjects as well. You know, it applies to anything. It's not just maths. So a super important tip is don't just revise constantly for like 6, 7 hours, because your brain is going to burn out and it's not going to be able to process any more information. So it's better to chunk it up into little segments. Yeah. Next one, a super underrated one as well. Teach others what you're learning. Now, this is how teachers like me in general get much better at teaching you content, because we're practicing all the time. What we're doing is we're practicing how to deliver content to you guys. And in that process, we better understand what we're teaching. So, you know, even though I got like the top grades in maths all throughout A levels and uni and stuff like that, when I started teaching, there was still small elements in things like further maths, which I started to be like, wow, I actually understand that way more because I started teaching it. So, you know, when you're learning a concept with me, what you could do is teach it to people around you. Look, I'm learning this. This is a question. I answered this question correctly. Look, let me explain to you how I did it. Now, what you're doing there is you're reiterating what you're learning, yeah? And then it helps your brain process that information better. What we have is we have Discord, where we have all our students who interact and they talk about questions, particularly with their mentor as well, and they're discussing problems and what they did, and it helps our students to process that information a lot better. So really, really important is to teach others what you're learning. Now, the last one, a really great one, is to work through problems with others. The great thing about working through problems with other people is that you get different perspectives on how to address a problem. We all know in maths, there's loads of different ways to address certain problems. If you work through with someone else, you know, we always say like 2 brains are better than 1. So particularly on the hard questions, it's great to discuss them with other people, because again, it adds that different layer of processing in your brain. And yeah, again, with our course, with my course, we use Discord, and on that platform, we discuss problems from my homeworks and we talk with the mentors, and mentors are always there to help you. You can also speak in our general chat with students, and you can post your problem and people discuss that. So it's really great, a really great platform for us to practice all of these points. In fact, you know, with Pareto's law, I did mention in all of my live streams, we do take a break, because if I'm streaming for 2 hours, then, you know, students will switch off, and, you know, we don't want that to happen. So we take a 10-minute break and we then carry on. So these are my most important 7 tips, which I personally use for my A-level maths. The one that I would have used more probably is Pareto's law, because I used to be that student who was just doing maths all day, and I'll just whack my headphones in. We didn't have wireless headphones when I was 16. We had wired headphones, and you'll just see me geeking out, doing maths all day. In fact, I just neglected everything else. So, you know, I did maths, further maths, chemistry, and economics. Look, chemistry and economics, I put them on the side, and I worried about them towards the end of the year. My whole life was maths, and it's probably reflected in my grades. I got the A in chemistry and econ, and the A stars in maths and further maths. So I was just smashing out maths all day, every day. I didn't take breaks. I was just the biggest geek. But I should have utilized Pareto's law a bit more, particularly with the other subjects, because then chemistry and econ, I just crammed them and I didn't take any breaks. If I used this and took some more breaks, then I think I would have done better. So, you know, maybe you guys want to, if you're on a laptop or something, maybe you want to take a screenshot of something like this. Yeah, it'll be, these are great things for you to use for your A levels. Yeah, and in general, it's not just maths, it's chemistry. I mean, why am I specifying? It's just any subject. Yeah. If you guys have any questions, of course, just put them in the chat. I'll be happy to answer you. It's great to see that some of you are saying, look, I've done all-nighters, and, you know, you are hopefully agreeing that, you know, doing things like Pareto's law, a lot of you guys stress out about a lot of things. You know, just relax. It's all fine. Catherine, at GCSE, we didn't have grade 9s, but I got the A star, so that would be the top grade. But GCSE for me was what, 12 years ago now. Is it 12 years ago? 12 years ago. I did my GCSE in year 10, which is why I did A levels a year early. My school seemed to let me do it, but yeah, we didn't have grade nines back then. So the top grade back then was the A star. Yeah. So I've been discussing my course, and a lot of us have been speaking about that together on WhatsApp. Um, what is included in my course, Amina? What is there much difference between A-level maths and higher maths? Um, Amina, do you mean if you mean higher maths GCSE? Um, it is a big difference. So there is a huge jump between higher GCSE maths to A-level maths. And in my course, I try and bridge that gap really quickly, because you really do need to understand very, very quickly how big that gap is. Yeah. So I think it's quite underrated how big the gap is, because students who go into year 12, because they don't have exams that year, they relax and they say, look, I'm just going to chill. It's not that deep. I can decide what I want to do later on. And, I've got 2 years to worry about exams. Yeah. The gap between year 12 and year 13 is even bigger. Year 12 to 13 is huge. Like year 13 is a super, super intense course. And, my year 12 course starts in October. Year 13, we've already started. Yeah. And I'll discuss that a little bit later on. But yeah, the gap really is massive. Yeah. Now, you're in Scotland. The only option is higher. So I'm assuming that A level would be advanced. Okay. So, Amina, I'm assuming you're between 16 and 18. So it'll be the same concept. But yeah, um, the curriculums will be the content should be the same. Yeah. But yeah, in terms of my maths course, what do I do to bridge the gap? Every single week we have a lesson. Year 12 have one lesson, year 13 have 2 sessions per week. As I said, year 13 is really, really intense. There's so much content to cover. Year 12, we have a bit more time, so we don't have to go full in, all out. We have time to bridge the gap, but also I expose you to all the exam questions that you need to do well. Because obviously year 12, we have UCAS exams, which determine your predicted grade. So year 12, I give enough time to learn all the content, and then exam papers at the end. Every week, I'll just go from applied to pure, applied to pure, and I'll do live streams where you'll watch me go through questions and go into my brain when I see a question fresh. What am I thinking? Year 13, the reason we have 2 sessions per week is because I cover all the content by February half term. I then revise all the content again, including year 12 and year 13. And then I give lots of time to do exam prep. And that's all in time for your full A-level exams. So year 13 is a lot of work. But as I said, I am an EdXL examiner, so I do drill you lot hard on this content, and I make sure there's lots of time for us to practice exams at the end of the year. Now, whether in year 12 or 13, it doesn't matter. We do have professionally designed workbooks. Now, what they are is I have my PowerPoint, and you use the workbook to work alongside me, so you don't need to write down the questions and stuff like that. They're all really clean workbooks, and you just use those to work alongside me. Every single lecture does have homeworks, and as I've described, they do work very quickly towards exam questions. Now, there are different plans, but if you're on the pro plan, you do get worked video solutions for every single question. So over there, you can see that that's me working through a homework question. So every single homework has about 10 questions. So that means if you're in year 13, for example, you basically have access to 90 pre-recorded videos of me going through questions every single month. Now that's a lot of content, and that's a lot of content for you to absorb of exam questions, which is the most beneficial to you. Because if you do a question, you want to know exactly where you went wrong. You also want to know where what was I thinking at the time? So then you can change the way you're thinking slightly and then move on, because most likely it's a small thing that you might have misunderstood, but with my work solutions, you can address it straight away. Now, all of this goes on the MES platform, and I'm going to show you a demo of the platform after. Guys, anyone who's asking about the price of the courses, I'm going to show you later on, because I have some incredible deals as well for just you guys for being on the stream. Different to the website, by the way. So just because you guys are on the stream, I do have some really cool offers for you. So on my platform online, which I'm going to show you in a second, all the live streams that we do are going to be uploaded onto there. All my homeworks are going to be uploaded onto there. And also all of my video solutions are going to be on there as well. And like I said, you're going to have unlimited access to mentors as well. Here are a few of our mentors. Now, the mentors are there. Well, my current mentors are all of my old students. Now, they're there to answer any questions you have. You know, you can talk to them about university, you know, any advice that they may have for you, uni, life, and all that kind of stuff, anything. So it doesn't just have to be about maths, but you can chat to them about anything. But primarily, we use it for you to discuss problems. Now, I wanted to show you guys the actual platform that we use. Now, I'm going to show you the year 13 one. So I'm just going to wait on the screen, make sure you guys can see it. So I'm just going to walk you through what it looks like. So this is the year 13 September platform. I'm just going to see, just to make sure if there's any questions. Giga Chad. Can we start another? How much your course is? Guys, if you can definitely start now. You just have to, I'll tell you later on what you need to do if you want to start. Cost of my courses, I'll show you, I'll post show you in a second on my PowerPoint. The workbooks I'll show you right now as well. I'll just download it so you can see what it would look like. We're gonna do maths. Zishan, no maths questions today, but if you should also be subscribed, right? And I have some live streams as well, which you can watch. Stesha, I'm doing OCR. So for normal maths, there's not much difference between. In fact, there's barely any difference between the exam boards. For further maths, there is a big difference. So it would be slightly different if you asked me further maths. But normal maths, don't worry about it. It's all basically the same. I have students doing EdXL, OCR, AQA, and I have been teaching, you know, students across those boards for 7 years. Okay, cool. So when a student logs in to my platform, this is what they're going to see. So all my year 13s who logged in, this is what they're going to see. Now, the first thing I would advise them to do is watch the video on how to use the platform. Here's my big head. But I'm doing that for you guys now, so you don't have to watch my big head on the screen. You can see me in the bottom of your screen instead. But the main thing is this. They have access to 9 lectures per month. Let's look at lecture 1. So they've done this already. So this lecture 1 started on the 5th of September. We're actually currently, tomorrow, we're doing lecture 4 because we're doing 2 per week, right? So lecture 1, this is what they would see. They would see the workbook. Now, what they would do is they would download this workbook. And this is what it looks like. So what it does is it follows exactly what I'm doing in lesson. So it saves you from having to write down any questions. You can literally go along, you can copy along with me, fill out your notes. And if you ever, you know, miss out on anything, don't worry. I don't need to go back. You just need to rewatch the stream, which I'm going to show you in a second. So if you ever miss anything, it's not a big deal. Obviously, having this reduces that from happening. So you download the workbook, and every single one of my live streams are recorded. So here you can see the one we did on radians. This was the first ever lesson we did. So you can play it back. You know, you could go to any section you like, yeah, and rewatch any part of that lecture, yeah. So yeah, this is really important. Like I said, if you miss anything, you can just come back and rewatch it. Another cool thing that I have is, look here, I have my on-screen calculator. So, you know, there's lots of cool tricks which you can do on calculators, which we do in lesson. And, you know, it's super fun. Students love this whole calculator on screen. But yeah, you can watch back any of my lectures afterwards. Then you have the homeworks. So, some students already submitted their answers. I have to click edit quiz because yours will be like question by question. But on here, you have all the questions that I have created, yeah, all the way down to the hardest questions on the topic, yeah. And so students will attempt them here. Then for every single homework, my students have access to my solutions, which are here. Now here, all they do is they tick or cross. Yes, they'll tick or cross their answers, and they will then use this to submit their work here. So we've had some submissions already, yeah? So once you have submitted your answers and we can see, hopefully that you've tick and crossed your answers, you then have access to the most important bit of each week, apart from obviously the lessons, is the video solutions. So you've marked your work, you know exactly what you've got right or wrong. Say, for example, you got question 4 wrong. You'd go to my video solution and you'll see me live. Can I make this full screen? I think you guys will be able to see this. Full screen. You'll see me work through this problem live, and you'll hear me go through my logic behind everything. Yeah, it's important that you understand exactly what I'm thinking when I'm going through each problem, because then you can address any misconceptions you may have, right? So every single week looks like this. Yeah, year 12 and GCSE will have 5 per month, and year 13 have 9 per month. And this is what it will look like every single that's what it will look like every single month. So what makes our course so special is you can see the big difference between what we're offering and traditional one-to-one tuition. So obviously with both my live streams and traditional one-to-one tuition, you have engagement with the teacher. So I'm looking at the chat, I can see, you guys asking questions and I can answer your questions. The second thing that we have an advantage over is detailed explanations for homeworks. So I have these video solutions every single week, right? With traditional one-to-one tuition, and I have been a tutor as well for several years, one-to-one, is we don't usually have time to go through homeworks. We usually say mark yourselves because we need to go through the next bit of content, right? Otherwise we're going to fall behind. Here, we don't need to personally go through the answers to homeworks. The video solutions are there for you so that you can then go through it yourself, and then we can just carry on with the content. Again, a thing that we have an advantage over is the community of like-minded students. Yeah, by being part of our Discord, you're having a community of students who are all, they all are looking to be successful. And they always say if you want to be successful, you want to surround yourself with people who also want to be successful. Now, you don't get that with traditional one-to-one tuition. Affordability. I'm going to discuss prices in a second, but we are extremely affordable, especially compared to one-to-one tuition, and we'll do a price breakdown of that in a second. Live motivation and progress monitoring. Having your mentors there to motivate you 24/7 is really powerful. Now, one-to-one tuition does provide this, but I would say it's still not as much. Like you can WhatsApp your tutor, but they're not there 24/7. Usually you have big lags between message and response. Now, there are 3 different packages for each year group. Apart from GCSE, GCSE just has a basic and the standard. But we also obviously recommend highly the pro package because then you have the most support possible, with the mentors and the videos, etc. But if that's not for you, then we do have other packages as well. But the pro package is the one that includes the mentors, the live videos, the video solutions, etc. So if you're really serious about getting the A-star, then the pro package is the one that you want to go for. Now, if we were to compare the prices of what I'm offering versus traditional one-to-one tuition, I'm going to, average it. So if we're going to look at an average, tuition usually costs around £50 per hour for just a qualified teacher, for example. Whereas if you were to hire me for an hour, just one person was to hire me for an hour, someone who has several years of experience, head of A-level maths in multiple schools, top grades across all of those schools, and also an edXL examiner, you're looking at paying over £100 an hour for my services. Now, per hour of engagement with my course, it works out to about £3 per hour. Obviously, people earning over £100 per hour is great and all, but what we're trying to do here is to provide quality education for something that is really, really affordable. So if you're talking about year 13, this is an example of the year 13 package. And remember what we said. So you have 9 lessons per month, and each of them around 2 hours. You get homeworks, you get video solutions, you get an incredible amount of engagement with us per month. You're looking at, for the pro package, £120 per month. But remember I said I do have offers for you guys that are not or not on our website. So when you do break down the price, it works out to £120 per month for the pro package. So the mentors, the video solutions, the homeworks, all of that stuff. If you think about it, that works out the same to, if you had a tutor that was £30 an hour, that's 4 hours worth of engagement with a one-to-one tutor who charges £30 an hour. Whereas here, you're getting 4 hours per week. So it's very, very, we're like 20 to 30 times cheaper than traditional tuition. Now, this is the huge discounts. I'm really happy that you guys have all come to my stream. So for any of you guys, we have 2 different ways you could subscribe. Is you can do the monthly or you could do the annual. Now, if you do sign up for the monthly package, then I am offering 50% off the first month only. So for year 13, if it's £120 a month, that's £60 for the first month. But then ongoing, it would go back to the full price. If you decide to purchase the annual package, then I'm offering 30% off the full year. So when that averages out, it's a huge saving over the course of the year. And again, if you consider how much the cost is per hour of engagement, £3-ish, and less than £3, the more you engage with it, it becomes incredibly cheap per hour. And then over the at least then when you do the annual, you just pay it all up front, then you don't even have to worry about it anymore. So how do you access all of this? This discount is only valid for the next 3 days. So all you need to do is message me directly on WhatsApp or Instagram. A lot of you already have me on WhatsApp, but the link to that is down in the description. You could click that. If you just send me the code word START, then I'm happy to send you the details of how to sign up. If you're in year 13, this is really important. If you're in year 13 and you want to sign up to the September course, I'm only accepting registrations for this week only, because then too much has gone by of September. You would then have to sign up for October. So if you're interested in year 13, you only have this week to sign up for the September course anyway. But year 12 and GCSE does start in October. But if you do want the discounts of 50% off for your first month, then or 30% off the annual, then you need to send me the code word START on Instagram or WhatsApp within the next 3 days. So this is just some feedback from my students. Of course, I've been teaching for a long time. There's many students who have, had incredible feedback. I've had students go from E's to A stars. If you look at the top one there, my most recent student, Sam, he got an A star 1 year early, and he was only learning the course with me because his school wasn't offering it. He was in year 11 when he started with me. And then at the end of year 12, he sat his A-levels, just exactly how I did it when I was his age. And he still got the A star, which is incredible. Mushtaba down there got an A star in maths, went to UCL. And then Omid also smashed his exams. So MH year 12, starts first week of October. So it's actually not that long left. The weeks are going quickly. A-levels go super quick. They really do. So all of my students make incredible progress because they want to work. They get motivated, they enjoy the course, they engage with the platform, and they end up doing well because the motivation is there. So I just wanted to thank you guys for joining me. I will hang about for a little bit to answer any questions you may have, but be sure to follow me on Instagram, drop me a message. You know, I always love interacting with you lot. If you could hit the like button before you leave, that would be fantastic. It helps me out so much. And if you could subscribe as well, that would also be great because at least then you can have access to all my videos and you have updates and stuff like that. So also, just go click on my link tree. I have TikTok, I have all that stuff. We have really funny videos. So yeah, if you have any questions, just drop me a message. I'm gonna be hanging about for a little bit, but otherwise, um, I'll see you guys hopefully on my course. And if you have any questions, yeah, just hit me up. Um, Smoker, what about GCSE resit? So at the moment, Smoker, we don't offer um, courses on GCSE resit because the exams happen in mid to late October slash November, so it's not a lot of time to cover the content. So at the moment, it's not something that we're offering. Sorry about that. MH, will it be the same price? For year 12, the price is different. So the year 12 price is £80 per month. So if you were to sign up with my code and you send start, it will be 50% off that for the first month, which would be £40 for October. But for the annual, you can get 30% off for the full year. Will all GCSE A-level maths be on the course? Yeah, I mean, it's like what I said, right? The all all GCSE is kind of like assumed in the A levels. So any kind of content that you were kind of not too sure about with GCSE will be covered, you know, indirectly in the year 12 course. Yeah. So don't worry too much about the GCSE side of things. You know, things like surds and, you know, factorizing and algebraic fractions, all those things are just a given. And I still talk through all my logic around them and you know we address it anyway. So you will revise it. Emotherapy. Did everyone in your course get an A or A star? If unfortunately there's never 100% for anything right in life. There's if someone could get 100% who teaches thousands of pupils A star, they would probably be the prime minister of the country or something. So you know, not 100%, but over two-thirds emotherapy of the students who do really well, you know, because they work hard and they put in they have the work ethic to want to do well. Yeah. I wish it was 100%, but you know, we can't, 100% is never a thing in real life. Um, what about just GCSE resit that you've done? Okay, so Smoker, if you're talking about like taking your exams in June or July, then you basically just want to do the full course. So the GCSE course is the higher course. So if you're going to do the whole year again, then my suggestion would probably be to try and sit the higher paper. And for that, then you just want to sit the full GCSE course that I'm doing from October, where I cover the whole higher GCSE course. Yeah. Stesha, can I do monthly and then cancel the subscription? Yeah, as in you could subscribe to 1 month, and because then after the month, there's no obligation for you to carry to the next month. MH, will you reply on Instagram because I have a question now I'd like to ask? Yeah, sure. MH, if you message me on Instagram, that's completely fine. Don't forget to follow me as well. It's great. At least then I can see it's you. Just say it's MH messaging me, yeah? Emotherapy. How about the other 1/3? Did they get C or B or under? Um, Again, emotherapy. It doesn't. It depends on on how much the student worked. You know, generally, if they don't get the A or A star, most of them would be getting the B. But you know, the distribution is quite large in terms of the rest of students. But yeah, most students are getting the B. Um, Not many C's, and very rarely are students getting D's or E's. The students who are getting D's or E's are most likely the ones who didn't do any of my homeworks. They barely showed up to streams and they didn't put a lot of effort into their work over the course of the year. And when we do look at that, that is always the case. And the students who get B's and over are the ones who engaged in all the streams. They turned up to all the streams, they did all the homeworks, and they watched all the video solutions. and they marked their work and they took their time. So if that's you, then for sure you're going to do well. Yeah. So it's all about doing as much exposure as possible. Um, what Emotherapy, what year group are you in? Just let me know what year group you're in. Year 13. So as in my next year 13 stream is tomorrow. So if you sign up, um, ideally we would want to get it sorted today, right? So if you sign up, we'll get you on the platform ASAP, ready for my next stream, which is at 5 o'clock tomorrow. Yeah, but also at least then you can see all my previous streams because we've done 3 already. Yeah, so you can watch those back, get up to date with where we're up to. Yeah. But ideally, we want to get you onto that ASAP so that you can start catching up. Yeah. Ibrahim, can you help me out? I have a full AS paper tomorrow. What should I do to prepare for the next few hours? The most, the biggest section of every paper is calculus, so differentiation, integration, but also trig. So I would say, if you're, obviously I don't recommend cramming, but the big topics are the ones you want to focus on: trig, differentiation, integration. Then if you have spare time, I'll look at logs. Um, MH, would you recommend me join the year 13 stream? MH, didn't you say you're year 12? Because you did say what about year 12? If you're in year 12, don't join year 13, yeah, because you'll just be clueless. Because it's all following on from year 12, yeah. So if you're in year 12, just worry about year 12, yeah. Stesha, are the streams at the same time every week? Yes. So year 13 is on Monday and Thursday, 5 till 7. There are some times where we double up on a week. So for example, because there's 9 streams per month for year 13, there's one odd week where we may have to do a lesson on a Saturday, which is this week. In fact, I'm doing a lesson on Saturday as well, but it's very rare. Um, but yeah, if you can't make it, that's okay. Everything's recorded. You can watch it back whenever you have time. Yeah. But yeah, everything is at the same time every week. Uh, that's okay, Emotherapy. Glad I could help. Just message me if you need anything else. Yeah. Christy, I think I've said Christy V. Grade 8 GCSE is okay for A-level maths and further maths. Yes, definitely. Grade 8 is a great result. Definitely for A-level maths. Further maths, it's still a great result. So yes, further maths is very difficult though. It takes some adjusting. Yeah, so you have to give it a chance. But once you do give it a chance, because it's very different. So further maths goes into a completely different dimension in terms of square rooting negative numbers and stuff. You just have to give it a bit of time, and you'll love the course. But yeah, grade 8 is a great result. Cool session, no worries. Got an A, but the amount of work you. Yeah, so like the gap between year GCSE and year 12 is the same gap between year 12 normal maths and further maths. So MH, I don't cover further maths at the moment. It's just A levels for now. Okay. It looks like the questions are drying up. Could you tell me what you're doing in October and what you're doing in the September course actually? Stesho, is that what year group are you in? Sorry. Just let me know what year group you're in. Elizabeth, I don't know the exact percentage for A star only, so we usually summarize it as AA star. So really, it would be close to be between 30 and between 25 and 30%. So if no, maybe about 30%, 30 to 40%. If 2/3 are getting the AA star, around 30% probably would be about an A star. So Sesha, for year 13, basically in September, we're focusing on trig. So I'm getting all the trig out of the way in September. I also do parametric equations. October is the most important month because we do differentiation and we do integration. So the most important month is October, but a lot of that relies on year 12 trigonometry because we learn about new functions, which we then take on to integration differentiation. Yeah. I joined late. Can you give me a brief on what you covered? So, Ibrahim, I just basically gave the 7 tips on how to get the A star in A-level maths, and also I described a little bit more about my course. Um, Chrissy, what pathways would you suggest works best in maths and further maths, like career-wise? Well, a lot of students who do maths and further maths tend to go into, um, banking, investment banking, trading, but then also disciplines like actuary, well, we got accountancy. A lot of them, they then requalify and do things to do with computer science, coding, because it's a language, a mathematical language. Um, Things like Python you learn at university. So, it's more about the skills you gain when you do maths and further maths. So yeah, you still have a lot of choices if you do maths and further maths at A level, which is great. But obviously, you have time to think about that, and then you do some internships perhaps at university, which is always recommended. Okay, I'm just seeing again not sure what. Susanna, could you rewrite that question for me? Oh, what careers? Do you mean what careers with just Susanna? What do you mean by what careers on top of the ones I've already said, like actuary, banking, accounting, computer science, teaching, there's so many things you can do. If you're doing just maths, then your options are wider just because you can pick other subjects. Obviously, if you do maths, further maths, that's half or 2/3 of your A levels chosen. So, like Ibrahim said, he's doing dentistry. So it's very common to have maths if you want to apply to medicine and dentistry because it shows a different element to you. Obviously, chemistry and biology are all the common ones that are used, but maths shows that you can think outside the box and that kind of stuff. Um, so yeah, that if you're just doing maths, your options are quite wide in terms of what you can do. Okay, I think that might be it. So, guys, if you do have any more questions, then please hit me up on WhatsApp or Instagram. Just make sure you drop me a follow as well. And I look forward to hopefully seeing a lot of you on my course. And I'll be speaking to you guys in a bit. Thank you guys for joining me for this, and have a nice rest of your evening. Peace.